In today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to embroider a design on a beanie. Now that it's getting pretty chilly, we must continue digitizing and we want to be cozy while doing so. And this is how to get it done. Stick around to the end to learn all the best tips and tricks.
Attention all machine embroidery beginners. Are you struggling to hoop your fabrics, don't know what thread to use, or even what tension is? Sign up for our free Embroidery for Beginners course and become an expert in no time. Click the link in the description to get started.
These are the materials that you're going to need to embroider your own beanie. Number one is one of these beanies. This is a very standard beanie, and our goal is to fold the bottom section so the design is going to be on top. For the stabilizer, I'm going to use one sheet of no-show mesh cutaway, and that's because it feels much lighter than regular cutaway. You can get it in different colors, so if you're using a black beanie, you can get a black no-show mesh cutaway and you won't see it at all. But the cutaway will be on the back, so you won't be feeling the stabilizer regardless. We're gonna use some scissors. We're gonna use some wash away topper stabilizer. Now, the reason why we want to use this is because this knit fabric is very stretchy and it's also very dense. So if you notice that when you're embroidering on these kinds of fabrics that your threads are sinking into it, this will stop the threads from sinking into your fabric. You place it on top, and we're just gonna grab some tape to tape it at the top and at the bottom so that it doesn't bunch up when it's embroidering. I'll show you all of this in the setup process. Now, if you have mighty hoops, this makes it very easy for you to hoop anything, including beanies, because it is magnetic. So if you have that, as well as a tool that I'm gonna show you in a second, this will make embroidering beanies so easy. Now, if you don't and you only have the regular ones, no worries, you can still hoop them. Just remember to watch our hooping tutorial guide so you know how to hoop different fabrics depending on the hoop that you have. Let's get to the setup process. As you can see on this beanie that I created last year, the threads are all on top of the beanie, no problem. They aren't sinking in at all, and that's thanks to this wash away topper stabilizer. And on the other side, you'll see that there is the no-show mesh cutaway. But because we're folding the beanie, it doesn't really matter that the stabilizer is there because you won't feel it on your head. So how do we set up a beanie for hooping? Well, step one, I'm gonna unfold it so you can see that the stabilizer is on the outside. And step two, I'm going to turn the beanie inside out. So as you can see, the beanie is now inside out and the design is upside down with the Mary looking up and the Christmas looking that way. If we were to replicate that for our own beanie that we want to embroider, I'm going to unfold this. I'm going to turn it inside out, and now I know that I should embroider my design and I should be facing it up this way, looking down. So that's how we're gonna set up our design. And if it helps, you can even put a little piece of tape. We can even put it like in the form of an arrow, so it's easier to remember going that way. Now, if I were to fold it back, that's how it's meant to be. And the only reason I'm sharing this is because I was super confused when I first got started with beanies, and I did end up embroidering some of them upside down. So just as a reminder, as a tip, you can always put some tape, and it helps you remember how you're supposed to position your design. Now that we got it set up, let's start hooping this beanie. Now for the hooping section, I'm gonna use the 5.5 inch freestyle from Mighty Hoop. It makes it very simple for you to hoop any difficult projects, but if you don't have a Mighty Hoop, you can also use the Echidna hooping stations because those don't require mighty hoops for you to embroider with. Let's open this up. I'm going to bring this 5.5 inch hoop right here, and I'm gonna place the bottom right there. Next, I'm going to grab my stabilizer. Again, this is a no-show mesh cutaway stabilizer, and I'm gonna put and clamp those two sides. You can see that the magnets are on each side, and now we're gonna put our beanie on. I'm gonna bring this beanie, put it around there, and again, the reason why I like using this tool is because it slightly stretches the beanie. One of the things that you want to ensure if you're using a regular hoop is to slightly stretch your fabric. And the reason why you want to do that is because beanies are normally stretched out when you're wearing them. They aren't like this. So you want to have them in the position of being stretched over your head, even if when you're not using it, it looks a little bit wrinkly. Once you start wearing that design, it should go away. So I did the same thing with this design. I slightly stretched it out, and then when it's on my head, it looks very normal. We're gonna do the same thing, and that's why this tool is nice, because it basically gives you that little stretch without any worries. So we have the beanie. It says that we're gonna put it going up that way, so that's awesome, because then I remember. We're just gonna center it out as best as we can, and next we're just gonna press down. So now I can just take it out, and I have a pretty nice and neat stretched out beanie. But we still have one more step, and that is to put our wash away stabilizer. So I think I could do that even just leaving it here. So we're gonna place this on top, and now I have to be very careful and remember that for this design, the letters have to be going this way. So even though I have the arrow going down, to me that means that the words are going to be facing upwards like this design. This step is very important when setting it up on your machine, so don't forget, because you don't want a design that comes out upside down. Now I'm gonna have to take out the tape, and I'm gonna place this here, and now I'm just gonna put a couple tapes around it. That's very nice. And there you go. Very fast, very simple, and now we can take it onto the embroidery machine. On the embroidery machine, there's only one way to place your beanie, so we're gonna do so, and that's through the hole. Bring it into your embroidery machine and clamp it in. Perfect. Now the next thing to do is to set up the design. Here I am on the Tajima side, and I make the process very simple. I've already placed my design on the USB, so I'm gonna click the flower, select the USB, and I have my design Eat, Sleep, Digitize. It is digitizing season. It is a little bit too cold outside, and I need to wear this beanie so that I can focus on digitizing and get better every day. Now the next thing it asks me to do is to select my color. I think I want this in a grayish color, so I'm going to select number 2. Then I'm going to click set. Tubular 1 is fine. And here's the option to rotate your design. Fortunately, I don't need to do it because the design on the machine is already upside down. So we're going to click set. And now it's just going to do a pretty quick tracing so that you can ensure that your design is not coming out of bounds. Give it like 5 millimeters in spacing left. So now that we're done, we can press start and let the machine embroider. There we go. Here it is, guys. Look at that. If you're ever considering getting any kind of machine, I highly suggest you go for Tajima. They are amazing, and you saw how quick and beautiful of a work it did on this design. So the next thing that we're gonna do is just slowly take off the wash away stabilizer. You're gonna see that there are a couple of parts here. That's okay, there's no problem with that, because what we're supposed to do is bring this onto some water so we can wash away the rest. So then I'm just gonna take off the hoop, and this is what it looks like on the back. I'm gonna just grab my scissors and cut as close as I can without cutting any threads or cutting the fabric itself. I think because it's so light, the scissors just glide through. As long as you have some pretty decent scissors, should be no problem. This one's super simple right now. Done. That's all I had to do. And now for the moment of truth, we're gonna bring this beanie back to the right side. And we're gonna fold this way. Eureka, we did it! It's on the right side, it's facing properly, and now all that's left to do is to get rid of these words. So I'm gonna go wash this off with some cool water. You can even rip them off manually if you want with a scissor. This is a wash away, tear away stabilizer after all, so it's very easy to just remove. This almost feels like surgery. You guys ever feel like you're a surgeon when you embroider? This feels a lot like that, and I'm very into it. Might not even need water at all. I'm just afraid to ruin the knit fabric. So I'm gonna go wash it off, and I'll come back with the end result. And there you go, guys. This is the beanie. Check it out. It looks pretty cool. It's not too cold in here yet, so I feel like as soon as I put this on, I'm gonna start sweating. But I wanted to show you what I mean. As you can see, the beanie is meant to be stretched out when you wear it, so when you take it off, it does look a little bit wrinkled, but that's okay because you're not gonna look at it so often when it's like this. Instead, you're gonna be wearing it as you're digitizing, as you're going on about your embroidery day, and you're gonna show off to everyone that you eat, sleep, and digitize. If you have any questions about today's tutorial, make sure to leave them in the comments, as well as make sure to watch these videos next, and we'll see you guys on the next one. I'm off to go digitizing every single day. How does that look? Do I look weird? Probably. Alright guys, take care. Bye-bye.